regarding CV building. Please welcome Dr. Sharjeela. She's online with us. Audience, huge round of applause.
Is she clear? They can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I hope you have a good day. My name is Sharjeela, and I work in the UK as an education consultant. Today, I will not only give you some guidance on building your CV, but I will also touch on some facts of life that have to be kept in mind while making a decision about your career. I wish someone had alluded these facts to me when I was your age. Look at the bigger picture. Priorities. The next slide. Set your priorities right from the beginning, and they won't be short-sighted. Please also look at ages 4th, 5th, and when you get older. Also bear in mind whether you will be able to carry on the same type and level of work when you get older. It would be too late by then to make choices again. Next slide, please. Likewise, when it comes to your career choice, not just focus on where you are now, click. First decide what do you want to be and where do you want to be, and then map out your journey. Click. It's like knowing first which destination you would like to travel to before you buy a plane ticket. You could be a physician, a surgeon, a basic scientist, and a medical educator. You could join pharmaceutical industry and utilize your medical knowledge there. You can join armed forces. But what we advise you against are any non-medical careers or sitting at home, wasting your medical degree, not utilizing it outside. That's an absolutely no-no. And I'll tell you why. Next slide, please. 17,000 Pakistani rupees per year. The fee then goes up to 35,000 per year for the next 2 years, for next 3 years, which is equal to 72 lakhs and some 50,000 Pakistani rupees per year. So think very carefully before you decide to leave the medical career. Click. Because you owe a lot to your poor country and its future generation. Click. Next slide, please. I recently came across this slide, and I wish that I had seen it when I was in medical school like yourselves. So let's look at the beginning of the graph. There are two students, candidate A and candidate B. They both start their medical school together. Now look at candidate A. The candidate A, right from the beginning, started building his CV. He started doing research, writing papers, built up his teaching portfolio, did lots of courses, and passed several exams. All in all, he was performing really well. While candidate B just went with the flow and did not much invested in his CV building. And by the time it came to applying for the jobs, candidate A completely outstayed candidate B. Now candidate B cannot turn the time clock back. He cannot all of a sudden acquire a PhD degree, have published papers, or gain some new qualification. So it's too late. Click. So the bottom line is start building your CV now, because time is more precious than money. Next slide, please. now look through the basic structure of a CV. Keep clicking for John. So it includes personal information, personal statement, education and qualification, employment history, research experience, presentation and courses, teaching experience, management and leadership, clinical governance, personal interest and any volunteer work, and your referees. Next slide, please. So your CV is basically gives you a chance to stand out in the crowd. Next slide. Personal development, personal information. So your personal information in contact details, your professional registration status. For example, you're registered with Pakistan Medical Council or General Medical for UK candidate. If you're working in a foreign, your employer might also want nationality and your visa status. In foreign countries, it's essential to have a medical index. Having a driving license is an added advantage, as it means that you can travel from one place to another if the need be. Next slide, please. Your personal statement is basically the first and the most vital part of your CV. It is basically a brief introduction of who you are, what are your skills and attributes, and where do you aspire to be in your career. It helps the employer decide whether you are a suitable candidate for the job. It helps you stand apart from other candidates. It should that will be very powerful. Next slide, please. Education and qualification. So you need to mention here your primary, medical, or dental degree with your year of graduation and name of university. Then you can list your postgraduate qualifications. For example, FCPS, MRCS, MD, FRCP, etc. If you have achieved any distinctions, please do mention them. Please also mention any scholarships that you might have secured and any bursary you might have gained. That also helps you stand out from the crowd. Next slide, please. Employment history. List all your employment in a chronological order, starting from the current one. Also mention your role, responsibilities, and skills used in your current job. Next, please. Research experience. Mention if you have research degree. For example, a postgraduate certificate or diploma in research, a BSc, an MSc, an MPhil, or a PhD. Briefly mention the research product. What did you learn from it? What skills you acquired? And where did you do your research? So, not mentioning all these skills makes your CV look a bit distracting. So also mention any research courses you might have attended. Next slide, please. Presentations and research courses. Mention any local, regional, national, and international presentations and courses that you might have made. These papers and presentations might have come out of your research that you've already mentioned. Also mention where and when you presented. Mention if you won a prize. There'll be lots of people who will mention presentations and posters on the CV. But winning a prize, again, helps the employer differentiate you from other candidates. Next slide, please. Teaching experience. Mention any teaching qualification that you might have. For example, a master's in medical education, a PG cert, or a diploma. You can list any teaching courses that you might have attended in the past with their names. If you have any previous experience of teaching, for example, teaching the juniors or nurses, please also list them on CV. It's very important to get feedback from your teacher. Just mentioning that you have taught the students or you have taught house officers if you were a postgrad is not enough. Feedback is very, very important part of the teaching. The whole point is that you're continuously making an effort to improve your teaching on the basis of the feedback that you receive the learners. If you have organized any exams for any medical school exams, postgraduate exams like FCPS or MRCP, please also list that here. Management leadership. Management and leadership are very key qualities which employer wants to see in a doctor. So here, you can mention things like if you were a class representative and what was your role, and more importantly, what the skills you learned from this experience, how you apply them in your day-to-day clinical practice. Alumni here who prove themselves to be a valued member of our team can also list this in their CV, and we will be very happy to provide them with a certificate to enhance their CV. If you organize an employer at your workplace, for example, a class representative organized third year or fourth year placement rota, or a house officer organizes house officer rota, or a PG organizes the rota of junior doctors in their medical unit, then this can also be mentioned. If you have any roles in your social club, sports club, host, collect your certificate now. As you can imagine, it's going to be very, very difficult to come back to the college once you pass out. It will be even more difficult if you've left the country. So start collecting the evidence now and start building your CV now. So clinical governance is quite important, especially if anyone wants to come in UK and assessment India. This is basically a systematic approach to continuously maintaining and improving the quality of patient care. It improves audits, and especially if you've closed the audit starter. And I'll tell you in a minute what is an audit. Quality improvements are also very important. So, quality improvement is basically anything if you have done to improve the quality of patient care in the department. For example, if you're working in A&E and a patient presents with MI, you try and reduce the door-to-needle time in your service, and that's a quality improvement process. Okay, now come to audit. So basically what audit is comparison of your current practice against a set of studies. For example, you want to measure the difference between your clinical care and practice against international pneumonia management guidelines and local management guidelines. So you measure the distance between the practice and the guideline. On the basis of it, you formulate an action plan, you implement those changes, and then you re-audit your practice to prove that you have made some positive impact and you're continuously improving your clinical practice as a physician and as a department. Next slide, please. So references, in UK, there usually 3 references is required, covering last 3 years of your employment. So basically, if you have applied for the job, you've even been successful in interview and job application, your future employer will ask some feedback from your previous bosses on your performance and other aspects of your personality. For example, your communication skills, the way you behave with your colleagues, your compassion, etc. Okay. Now look outside the box. As for you to click. As with you to 6, an average 75-year-old person spends 21% of their entire life at work or building their career. And unfortunately, we all remain faced in a major part of our life at that 21%. And spend so much of our time to ensure that we excel at work and career. How many of us do actually go at somewhere, do any courses, or attend any workshop to improve ourselves as a person, as a citizen, or more importantly as a people? Next slide, please. So personal development needs some attention from ourselves as well. Click. The most important component here is our mission in life. So you need to decide now, what is your mission in life? What do you want to achieve in life? And then design your travel journey. Your personal development often involves improving your relationships with other humans, improving day-to-day basic manners, believing in equality, having a sense of self-awareness. If you make a mistake, admit them, accept them openly, learn from them, and reflect from them. So next time, if such a situation arises, you handle it in a better way. Awareness of our responsibilities and the role in society, also very important. For example, knowing your roles and responsibilities as a student of KMDC. You are ambassador of this school. Whatever you do, even outside the premises of medical schools, you have to ensure that you maintain the credibility and integrity in yourself. Organization and communication are also very important as a professional, even as a mother, housewife, or any profession that you will do. These are the basic skills that you will need to excel in whatever you want to do. Next slide, please. My dad always used to say that degrees of qualification without personal development are as good as a donkey and those of books on the back. Next, please. If your education has not been then I'm sorry, but it's all different. You're very lucky to be now at school. You have secured this place with lots of hard work to make the most of it. Try and make yourself a better person. Education without awareness is. Next slide, please. Improve yourself as a person. You will find highly skilled, understanding professionals. But the most important question, how many of them are actually achieving? This is a rare competence. And that's why we as a nation are where we are today. The choice is yours. Think carefully, reflect, and make a sensible choice. Think how would you like to live when you are no more in this world. If out of this whole session, if I want you to take one message home, is you don't have to be super intelligent to succeed in your career. You have to be is to be very honest, hardworking, and dedicated.